xAI sues Apple over app charts, and Apple Watch secrets get stolen. This is MacVoices. This MacVoices is supported by the Insta360 Go Ultra, the camera that goes everywhere with you. Visit store.insta360.com and the promo code MacVoices to get a free set of sticky tabs. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, what you need to know is it's Tuesday night. It's 8 p.m. Eastern. We are in the YouTube chat room at youtube.com/MacVoicesTV. We wish you were there with us, commenting on whatever we're going to be commenting on. But if you can't make it this week or this time as you watch this, mark your calendars because Tuesday nights is when it all happens right here. And when I say it all happens, it really all happens right here. Indeed. You never know what's coming. We have an extra big panel tonight. I guess everybody's just relaxing and decided to come on in anticipation of the U.S. Labor Day weekend in our country. So we're going to go around the room, see who's here, and go from there. Edging out someone else in for the top left of my screen, Mr. Marty Jencius. Marty, it's good to see you.
Hey, it's good to be here. It's been a good day. No meetings, did a bunch of work, made some Turkish ezma. I had got a little time in the kitchen, which was kind of fun and relaxing for me. So
good. That's great. That's great. Well, the person who got edged out of the normal spot is Mr. David Ginsburg. David, good to see you as always.
Yeah, great to see you. Hey, I snuck in. I thought I got it, but that doesn't matter, of course. Thanks. No. It's great to be here, and yeah, busy day, but glad to be here to hang out with you guys.
I don't remember the last time I didn't have a busy day, David, so I'm right there with you.
Yep.
Speaking of busy days, maybe, I'm not sure, Brian Flanigan-Arthurs, I would guess, Brian, with you being back in the classroom, it is a little bit crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely busy. Yeah, every day, and just keep at it.
Yeah, well, and we were talking pre-show, you had a notable weather event over the past 24 hours.
Yeah, giant dust storm in my area, and yeah, wow. It hasn't happened in a long time, and it was a big one.
Yeah, if you folks, if you haven't seen the video of it, pop on your favorite news site or just do a search and you'll find it with no trouble. But it is worth looking at. It looks like a Hollywood movie, really does. Speaking of Hollywood movie, one of our favorite leading men, Mr. Ben Roethig, is here. I don't know where that came from, Ben, but there it is.
Chuck, I am so proud of you.
I don't know where it came from, but I like it.
Okay, good. There you go. Jeff Gamet is here, and I love the fact that he approves of my occasional free association because he is the master. Jeff, it's good to have you.
It's good to have you, and as long as we're free associating, holy crap, Chuck, I'm having so much fun. Friend is out of town, tasked me with taking care of their vegetable garden and their chickens. I know, putting me in charge of living things. Until you've had the opportunity to really have to take care of a vegetable garden and chickens at the same time, you have not lived. There's something magical about going through a garden and collecting Japanese beetles and then taking them to those wonderful little raptors, the chickens, and watching them just go to town. They are vicious hunters. Okay, I'm done free associating on farming and gardening.
Yeah, no, thank you. That was an interesting little diversion. So, yeah, I better leave it there because this is a family-friendly show.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
I can take it.
No, but speaking of chickens, Eric Bolden is here, and Eric, maybe you have some tips for the as a professional chicken person for the amateur chicken person.
Well, I was going to say the best thing if you're watching chickens and somebody's garden at the same time, I suggest a play date. Put all the chickens in the garden. They will go nuts. Everyone will be happy.
I've been thinking about that because I started seeing grasshoppers today, and I've seen chickens with grasshoppers. You think velociraptors are vicious? You have not seen a chicken in action.
A chicken in action. That's another phrase that I'm not sure has ever been uttered
That could be
before.
a show title if you had them.
Yeah, really. Man. Webb Bixby is here tonight, and I don't think that Webb has anything to do with chickens other than fried. Pretty
Yep.
Accurate, Webb? Okay.
Thank you and good night.
Yeah. Do you want anything to do with chickens, Webb? Is a better question.
No.
Okay. All
No.
right. You and me both. Well, last but not least, but under a cloak of invisibility, Jim Ray is here, having a few camera problems, but he is here. Jim, can you hear us?
I can.
Okay, good. So you are here, and there you are. You popped back in
from an undisclosed location.
No, I'm frozen again,
and it froze again. Okay. Oh no, there you're moving.
Now it's unfrozen.
There you're moving. So, just to make sure we know that you're not frozen, if you could just do jumping jacks the whole way through the show. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
Jim is shifting in and out of reality like the USS Defiant in the original series.
Good.
Yep, there. Yep, he's frozen again. Oh, man. All right, so let's get to this. We're going to start off with, I think, what may be
a spatial shift. It was a time shift. And, but Jim, all I have to say is watch out for the Gorn.
Yeah.
That's so true.
So let's get off the ground with what I think is probably the obvious one. And that is that xAI / Elon Musk is suing Apple and OpenAI over the Siri partnership, over the fact that he claims that nobody that isn't doing business with Apple can get to the top of the app charts. None of the AI folks can get to the top of the app charts. We talked about this, I guess, a week or two ago when he threatened it. And Jeff, I think you were the one that said in our private Slack that you didn't expect this, but here it is. It turned into reality.
Yeah, I did not expect this. I mistakenly thought that we were getting posturing, and it turns out that posturing included a little bit of follow through. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what sort of evidence Elon is able to bring to the table. It will also be really interesting to see what happens during discovery. Because there's lots of under the hood stuff that all of these companies would love to learn about. And when I say all of these companies, I mean developers in general. And of course, Apple will do everything they can to keep all of their secrets that way. Yeah, so didn't see this one actually having a follow through, but doesn't mean there actually is a follow through, because filing a lawsuit and actually having it go through a whole trial process are not the same thing.
Yeah. And I've been really enjoying all the commentary that has been swirling around a little bit of yesterday and today. Nobody's necessarily picking sides. Some folks are picking on Elon because of what he did with the third-party Twitter apps and Twitterific, especially after he purchased Twitter. Then they're pointing out that, yeah, maybe there is something here from an anti-competitive standpoint against Apple. Then I heard another point made that let's see, I want to make sure I say this right, that because for example, if Google or OpenAI is a partner, there is a business interest there, and there's no obligation to enrich or enhance the competitors of that partner. That apparently is, I've never heard of it, but that's, I guess, the way that legally it can work or should work. So I'm with you. I think this is going to be really, really interesting. Brian?
Yeah, I had a clarifying question. for Apple Intelligence, I know obviously their partnership with OpenAI and ChatGPT, but do you need to download the app in order for those to take advantage of that use?
No.
I'm seeing shake, so I'm saying no, because that helps me to kind of think about, yes, they have and Apple can, partner with whomever they want, obviously, but as far as does one company have an advantage, if it did require you to download it in order to utilize that aspect, then I can see where it would be very challenging for other companies to if not make number one, to at least be, to sustain being number one for a while. Because it did say, I think in the story, that DeepSeek hit number one for a short while in January. But yeah, just my 2 cents on it.
There seem to be a number of things that sort of fly in the face of Elon's claims about this. So, I think there's probably a fair question here somewhere that has been asked a million times over about what does it take to get on the charts? What does it take to get to the top of the chart? But beyond that, and I know a lot of people have downloaded Grok. I don't know that many people that are using it on an active basis, and that's a very anecdotal statement. So how about anybody here? Is anybody here on a consistent basis using Grok? We've probably all played with it, but are you using it?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
No hands.
Let me put it this way. The few times Grok has made the news, it's usually for controversial reasons rather than for it being a top-notch LLM. I mean, in my personal opinion, this comes right down to Apple going with the best for its product and not the one that certain billionaires might want it to be for their own self-service.
Ben, I agree with you, but I think this, if I understand what Musk is alleging, I mean, he's trying. First of all, there's some inflammation, and he's also trying to cast doubt on how Apple calculates their charts. But so I don't think there's anything here that necessarily relates to that. I think it's more about just that, according to him, if you're not doing business with Apple, you can't even get on the chart, and certainly not get to number one. So I don't know. Webb?
I'm going to take kind of maybe a different view of this whole process and the litigation, all that. I said in the private Slack that we can go through the in response to Jeff's comment. We can go through the litigation process. It's going to be 2 to 3 years before this thing even sees the light of day. So take a seat. We'll get to you when we can. But I think what's really going on here, and this is like you said, Ben, this is my opinion only. This is really nothing more than Elon's trying to still control the news cycle and trying to get his name or his company's names out there. So this is a nothing burger at the end of the day.
Yeah. Agreed. It just depends on how much money Elon wants to throw at it to try to continue to influence the news cycle. Marty?
Yeah, I just kind of think it's attention getting. He's taken some personal and professional hits over the last year for good reason. And now he's back running the company. And I think he's trying to prop himself up with these kinds of lawsuits, which by the time they actually get resolved, we'll be in a completely different AI cycle anyways. Yeah. So his complaints and his concerns about, look at me, you're not looking at me enough. Well, it draws attention, like Ben said, to a product that is subpar. And it also just reminds us that he is a businessman. He's not a creator. He's not a developer. And I'm not sure his company is that much of a creator or developer. So this is a way to ingratiate probably some of his Muskites, the people who follow him and like the way he, throws things at a fan. But I don't think it's going to do much damage, one, to Apple or OpenAI, and it's not going to do much to help his brand.
I think that's another good assessment of it. I do have to ask, though, before we leave this topic, and I think I made this point before, just how important is it for something like this, for a large language model app to be in or at the top of the charts? Does it really make a difference? Maybe with a game, I can see how it might, and maybe if it's a utility that is completely unique. But do you think anybody would, just because Grok appeared there, to think, oh, Grok, I think I'll see what this is like?
It matters.
Yeah.
It absolutely matters.
Okay.
Whatever comes up at the top of the list, it's not just an App Store thing. It's an all the things thing. But before Google went through its massive enshittification where you would do a search and you'd get a list of results, what's the link that would get clicked almost all the time? The first one.
Right.
And that's just one example. So yes, it absolutely matters what shows up at the top of an Apple search list.
Good point, Jeff. I never thought of it that way because that's not the way I tend to look at those top lists. So
neither do I, but most other people look at it based on, they did a search, here's the top thing, that must be the one I should click.
So we know exactly what we're looking for. Most people don't.
Yeah.
Well, outside of that, I mean, that's why people used to name their plumbing business AAA Plumbing. So that they were listed first in the yellow pages.
Mm-hmm.
Or number one, blah, 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 blah.
Remember, I said on this show, I think it was 3 episodes ago when we were talking about politics, is that you really don't have to be right. You just have to be first. I think that's the same situation that's going on here. ChatGPT was there first, and everybody's chasing it.
But
now my question is that what came first? Grok suing Apple, or Apple saying they're going to Google and Gemini as their assist with their search engine? Anyway, who came first?
Well, Apple wasn't going to ever use Grok. I assume Apple's position is going to be, we don't decide the order of the list. The people with iPhones decide the order of the list. Isn't that going to be their position?
I assume so.
We just count the downloads, and whatever has the most downloads, that's listed first. And, Grok's trying to say that Apple has somehow put their finger on the scale.
I don't think it's as democratic as you're alleging, Jim, that it's just who has the most downloads goes up to the top.
Yeah, they do sell.
I don't think it's quite that simple. Yeah.
Then, well, also, I suspect it probably mostly is because other than advertising, as some Ben just pointed out. But, I guess the other question would be, who says Apple has an obligation to provide the list in a particular order?
Well, that's an interesting point.
The plaintiff?
Yeah. Here are the top 10 apps in alphabetical order.
Or, in any darned order we want. And, if Macworld lists the top 10 apps, they're just going to be in the order the editors felt like. Let's make a MacVoices top list, whatever we say the top list is. Somebody going to sue us? Say, no, that's not right.
Yeah. Marty, you just quoted something in our chat room. I will copy it to the YouTube chat.
Yeah, it's not a quote. I just did a search, how are Apple's top app lists determined? And this was the response that came back, an AI generated response that collected that answer. But it says determined by a complex, opaque algorithm that favors apps with high download numbers and velocity, positive user reviews and ratings, strong user retention rates, and good overall app performance. Other factors include app. What? What does Grok say? I don't know. I don't have Grok. Maybe someone could search Grok. Who has it. Other factors include app relevance and user searches, keywords, and app's metadata, and how frequently the app is updated.
Well, it is listed as number 6 in productivity, ahead of Gemini in the App Store rankings.
Grok is.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Well, I said, well, it's the number of downloads, but even if, who knows if this, what was this, ChatGPT, whatever the AI was. So, we don't know if that's correct or not, that they certainly not have inside information from Apple. But let's take it literally. The point is, whether it's downloads or something more complicated, Apple is going to say it's a, defined ranking. It's not something that we're, manipulating. So we set up some rules, and whatever numbers come out of the algorithm, that's. Well, why don't we ask Elon how he decides what gets shown up on people's timelines?
Well, that was another question, Jim. Another comment I heard about, how Elon notoriously wanted his tweets to be more prevalent than Biden's back. What was it, Thanksgiving or Christmas? And had his programmers allegedly. Well, they have come out and said they were instructed to tweak it so that he got more views than just the straight quotes from President Biden. So, there does seem to be a bit of disingenuousness going on here.
I think I agree with a couple other people here that, you just need a filing fee to file a lawsuit. That doesn't mean that, it's going to get anywhere. First, it's got to not get, sure, Apple's going to file for summary judgment, get the case thrown out, and even if it'll
be denied.
Yeah.
Summary judgment will be denied.
Yeah.
Well, that depends on what Elon, what they present. They may not have anything. Apple's going to say, "Hey, there's nothing here you haven't presented." What are they going to present? What are they going to have for evidence?
Well, and you know what, Ben, who knows? Maybe this whole thing has already worked its magic, because Ben pointed out that Grok is number 6 in the productivity list. So, maybe it has been pushed up by this controversy, by people wanting to know, well, what's the big deal, and what, how good is Grok? So I think I'll download it and try it. I don't know. We'll see. Again, if this continues, it'll be with us for a while, and we'll have a lot more to say about it as it goes. The new Insta360 Go Ultra, the tiny 4K camera that goes with you everywhere, is supporting today's MacVoices. When you're traveling, size and weight are everything. The difference between capturing a moment and missing it often comes down to whether you bothered to pack the gear, or whether you have it with you at the right moment. That's why the Insta360 Go Ultra is such a game changer. It's a 4K video capturing dynamo that fits right in your pocket, or clips to your shirt, your hat, even your backpack strap, so it's always ready without dragging you down. Despite its tiny footprint, you're not sacrificing quality. With rock-solid stabilization, crisp video, and smart shooting modes, the Go Ultra makes every clip look cinematic, even if you're just walking through a crowded street or hopping on a bike. And setup? There isn't any. One press and you're rolling. Think about it. No fumbling with lenses or digging in your bag. Whether you're exploring a new city, hiking trails, or just documenting everyday adventures, the Go Ultra is the camera you'll actually take with you everywhere. And that's what makes the memories real. Check it out at store.insta360.com, and don't forget to use the promo code MacVoices at checkout for your bonus sticky tabs. The Insta360 Go Ultra, proof that big adventures don't need big cameras. Thanks to Insta360 and the Go Ultra for supporting MacVoices. Next one is, this is a bit more, well, no, it's not. They're all interesting, but apparently there was someone, an Apple employee who was appropriating or did appropriate some Apple Watch secrets and took them with him to China. And he was, again, allegedly working with an organization called Oppo. And now Apple is working to try to make sure those designs can't get used. And this has been going on, this particular story has been going on since last week. And at first it was, a question of what was stolen. And now it looks like it was Apple Watch plans, and Oppo was complicit in trying to, if not solicit this gentleman to do it, with at least helping facilitate what he gets out of it. So I don't know. This is a little bit of corporate espionage, cloak and dagger. I always think that kind of thing is very interesting, but I think it's going to be a real problem for Apple if whatever those secrets happen to be that are out. What kind of legal ramifications are there, or what kind of relief can they get to prevent someone offshore from utilizing them?
They're going to pull the Massimo defense, basically. Keep these watches from being sold, at least in the U.S. I mean, it's in China. It seems like it's a company that doesn't sell outside of China. But I kind of think this is a dead issue for them, and it's almost shame on Apple. Why aren't you vetting this stuff better before you let people go?
Yeah.
Marty, the way
can someone explain to me why Apple has a secure box folder off campus? I don't get that at all.
That's a really good question.
Yeah. I want to make one slight note here. Oppo does sell in the U.S. It's through their subsidiary that is probably more well known, OnePlus.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, it just, I think there are some questions here, and it's to your question. Webb, I don't know the details. I mean, I feel like there's some pieces here that have been missing, that are still missing to the stories that I read. But apparently this pretty clearly was a malicious thing, and it was a premeditated thing. It's not like he just took them and then went and looked for a buyer. That, the things I've read indicate that Oppo was soliciting him to do this. So, Dave, any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know much else I can add to this. It's just with the Apple Watch and the way things have gone with Massimo, and now you've got this going on with this employee stealing these secrets, and this is. I still think Apple should have been a little more careful. They should always. I mean, they obviously don't want to be monitoring every single employee. They got too many of them to do that, but to sense something like this that could potentially happen. But like you say, you get tired of all these lawsuits all the time. But this one seems a little more, of a thing that you got the watch shouldn't, the watch secrets, like any of Apple's secrets, should be not shared, especially with China. I mean, it's just crazy that happened. So what else I can add?
Barry in the chat room said that he wondered if the box folder is a lure, which, okay, maybe, but if it is, it's doing a terrible job. because it allowed them to exfiltrate confidential information. But I do like the fact that Apple seems to be becoming more aggressive about some of these things. We've talked about the John Prosser lawsuit, and now we have this. And there've been some other instances in the past where they've gone after somebody, and so I applaud them, especially with all the guns that are aimed in their direction. People claiming that they're taking things from that, in my opinion, and I don't know about you all, but that really don't deserve.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.